Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
One of the hardest parts of getting older is feeling like something's off in your body, but not knowing exactly what. It's not just aging. It's often your hormones, too. When they fall out of balance, everything feels off. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to be the story of your next chapter. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is an herbal formula made with science-backed ingredients designed to fine-tune your hormones by balancing estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol. It helps with common issues such as hot flashes, poor sleep, low energy, bloating, and more. With over 40,000 reviews and a bottle sold every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. A survey found 86% of women lost weight, 77% saw an improved mood, and 100% felt like themselves again. Start your next chapter feeling balanced and in control. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com with code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.
Have you ever had to put your plans on hold due to symptoms of generalized myasthenia gravis, or GMG? Like taking that weekend trip, talking with friends, or enjoying a meal. Learn about a treatment option that may help. Visit treatgmg.com to learn more. That's treatgmg.com.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Paragold is the destination for luxury home. We've brought the world's best design brands together in one place. From traditional to modern, indoors to out, our curated selection of furnishings and home improvements transforms every space. Get inspired with our go-to edits, featuring expert styling tips and exclusive designer shops, where trusted tastemakers pick products they love. With fast, free, full-service delivery on most items, we make it easy to bring your vision to life. Ready for extraordinary? Shop now on Paragold.com.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
I'm Toby.
And welcome to the first day of Season of the Witch. I've got one long spooky witch story to share today. This one is quite infamous in British lore. And it's really interesting, this story. I love it. But first of all, we have a couple of new patrons.
Samantha Beecham.
Hi, Samantha. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And I have Jade Joycey. Hi, Jade. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you'd like to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/The Whispering Woods, where for £2.50 you can listen ad-free to all episodes, and for £4.50 a month you can listen to The Whispering Woods ad-free and also our other podcast, Obscurata, which we've got some really good stories coming out to that this week. We are also on Apple Premium, where for $4.99 a month you can listen to both podcasts ad-free. Right, Season of the Witch. So excited for this. If you missed it yesterday on the Haunted episode, For the month of September, we are doing Season of the Witch, so everything will be connected to witches and witchcraft, and we'll be going across Europe and various places to look at witch trials, infamous witches, Reddit stories about witches, all that kind of thing. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
Mother Shipton's story begins in the late 15th century in Knaresborough, a market town nestled under cliffside ruins of a castle. According to tradition, Ursula Southvale was born around 1488 in a damp cave by the river, a cave that locals already regarded with dread. Her mother Agatha was just 15, unmarried and alone, cast out of the village after refusing to name the baby's father. On the night of Ursula's birth, a violent storm raged. Thunder crashed, lightning flashed, and when the infant finally emerged, she did not cry, but cackled, or so the tales claim. The storm fell silent at that eerie moment, leaving those who heard it certain that something supernatural had occurred. Ursula's appearance did little to dispel the whispers of witchcraft. Later accounts describe her as deformed and unnaturally ugly even from birth. A hunchbacked child with bulging, goggling eyes and a twisted face dominated by a massive crooked nose. Rumours spread that her father might be the devil himself, invited by Agatha's desperate witchcraft or sinful liaison. In the superstitious climate of the late medieval period, such a tale found fertile ground. Any woman living apart was suspect, and a girl born under such circumstances was easily branded a devil's bastard by frightened neighbours. For the first 2 years of her life, Ursula remained with her ostracised mother in that cave on the riverside, surviving on charity and what nature provided. The cave itself held a frightful fascination. Beside it trickled a spring-fed pool, its rock face eerily skull-shaped and known for its power to turn things to stone. Villagers avoided this dropping well, believing it cursed, a place where evil magic seeped from the earth. In reality, the water's high mineral content coats any object hung under the flow with stone-like deposits over weeks and months. But to 15th century eyes, a cave with a petrifying well seemed like the very work of sorcery. It's no wonder rumours painted young Ursula as a witch's child, nourished on the devil's water. Ursula's fate took a turn when local authorities intervened. In 1940, the Abbot of Beverley learned of Agatha's plight and offered help. The abbot arranged for Agatha to be taken to a distant convent in Nottinghamshire, where she lived out her days in strict penance, never seeing her little girl again. Toddler Ursula was given to a foster family in Knaresborough, a chance to live among normal folk. Yet normal would never quite describe Ursula Southvale. The townspeople's fear of her lineage persisted. Her foster mother loved her, but neighbours watched the child warily. And soon, if we believe the old stories, odd incidents began to occur. One of the often told tales has Ursula's foster mother stepping out on an errand, leaving the toddler alone in the cottage. Moments later, a commotion erupted started inside. Neighbours rushed to the open door, only to be met with an uncanny wailing, like 1,000 cats, and the clatter of pots and pans flying about. When the brave villagers entered, they found no baby in the cradle. At last someone glanced up the chimney, and there sat little Ursula, naked and cackling in delight, somehow perched on the iron crossbar above the hearth. Equally unnerving were claims that small objects would move around her of their own accord, and that invisible imps, sometimes described as monkey-like creatures, would scamper about causing mischief. Such poltergeist-like activity further convinced locals that Ursula was a changeling child of demonic origin. As Ursula grew, villagers continued to torment her for her looks. Children and adults jeered at the hag-faced girl whenever she passed. One legend recounts how a group of men at a parish meeting leaned out a window to hurl insults at Ursula, only to be taught a lesson by her powers. After she walked by, the men sat back down to resume busyness, when suddenly the ringleader's stiff lace collar, his fashionable ruff, transformed into a wooden toilet seat, clamping around his neck. The fellow next to him broke into laughter, but as he did, his hat was mysteriously replaced by a chamber pot, drawing gales of laughter from the rest. And when the master of the house came running to investigate the uproar, he found he could not fit through the doorway. A pair of horns had sprouted from his forehead, barring the way. These absurd tricks vanished shortly after, leaving the victims red-faced. Superstition promptly did the rest. The townsfolk concluded that mocking Ursula was dangerous, and they began to leave the strange girl in peace. Ursula learned early that solitude was safer. She spent her youth wandering the woods on the edge of town, notably the very forest and cave where she was born. In the green seclusion of the riverside glen, she felt at home. There she studied nature's secrets, gathering herbs and learning their healing properties. Over time, the outcast child grew into a keen herbalist. Those who once shunned her began, cautiously, to seek her out for remedies. The same villagers who had laughed at Ursula's ugliness started to respect her as a cunning woman, with knowledge of cures beyond their understanding. In a community with little access to formal medicine, Ursula's skills with potions and poultices gave her a measure of acceptance and a new title. Though still young, she was now often called Mother Shipton, a name reflecting both matronly wisdom and perhaps a sly nod to her marriage, which was soon to come. At age 24, Ursula surprised everyone by finding love. She met a local carpenter from the nearby city of York, named Tobias Shipton, and in 1512 became his wife. How could this plain, hideous woman attract a husband? Villagers gossiped that Toby must have been bewitched into marrying her. In truth, we know little of Tobias Shipton, but folklore imagines him as a kind soul who saw past Ursula's appearance. The two settled in the village of Shipton, perhaps Tobias's hometown, and by all accounts were content in their brief time together. Mother Shipton, as she was now truly called, continued her herbal practice, and clients came from further afield, seeking the wise woman's counsel. One anecdote from this period shows Ursula's growing reputation for otherworldly insight. A neighbour came to Mother Shipton in distress. Someone had stolen her new smock and petticoat from the washing line. With calm assurance, Ursula told the woman to meet her at the market cross next morning, promising that the thief would be revealed. Skeptical but desperate, the neighbour did as instructed. The next day in the town square, a known local woman suddenly burst into a bizarre performance. She donned the stolen smock over her clothes, clutched the petticoat in hand, and danced through the street. In front of a gathering crowd, the thief capered straight up to Mother Shipton and sang out loud, "I stole my neighbour's smock and coat. I am a thief, and here I shan't," before meekly handing back the garments with a curtsy. The spell, for it seemed like one, then broke, leaving the thief mortified and the town astounded. Such was Mother Shipton's justice, quirky, merciless, and undeniably effective. But tragedy was never far from Ursula's life. Within only 2 years of marriage, Tobias Shipton died suddenly in 1514. Grief-stricken and now blamed by some for her husband's demise, Ursula found herself once again isolated. Cruel tongues whispered that perhaps she had cursed Toby herself. Unable to bear the scorn, Ursula retreated permanently to the one refuge she had always known, the forested cave of her birth. There, amid the dripping limestone and ancient trees, she lived apart from normal society, the archetypal solitary witch. Yet people still sought her out. In fact, it was during these later years in the woods that Mother Shipton's fame truly spread. Settling back into the cave by the petrifying well, Mother Shipton continued brewing herbal cures for those brave enough to visit. Her lonely existence only fed the legends. She was now an older woman, in her 40s and 50s, and, as folk said, the oldest woman in the village. Mother in more than name. Rumours held that she communed with spirits and demons in the dark of night, but many locals suffered ailments or misfortune still knocked on her door seeking help. Over time, Ursula's demeanour warmed, and she became almost benevolent toward her community. She helped the sick, delivered babies, and provided charms against bad luck. In return, she was generally left in peace in her woodland abode. It was during this final chapter of her life that Mother Shipton began to demonstrate the second sight. Initially, her prophecies were modest: personal fortunes, missing items, small village happenings. Locals whispered that Mother Shipton sometimes knew things she had no way of knowing, or that her casually spoken predictions proved uncannily true. Gaining confidence, she expanded her visions. Soon she was pronouncing on larger matters, events in the kingdom, the fates of nobles and monarchs, even the future of the world. If earlier generations had feared her as a witch, many now revered her as a prophetess. But by the 1530s, tales of Mother Shipton, the Yorkshire Sibyl, had begun to travel beyond Knaresborough. Mother Shipton's prophecies are a heady blend of genuine historical memory and later embellishment. Very few were written down in her lifetime. Instead, they were preserved in oral tradition and first printed decades after her death. That said, several specific predictions attributed to her became famous and were believed by many in the 16th and 17th centuries. One early prophecy was local and cryptic. Mother Shipton supposedly said, "Water shall come over Ouse Bridge, and a windmill shall be set upon a tower, and an elm tree shall lie at every man's door. To the people of nearby York, this sounded like nonsense, until years later, when the city installed a pumped water system. Engineers ran pipes, made of elm wood, across the River Ouse Bridge, leading to a pumping windmill atop a tower, bringing running water to virtually every household's door. What had seemed gibberish was suddenly a precise description of modern plumbing. Another local prophecy warned, before Ouse Bridge and Trinity Church meet, what is built in the day shall fall in the night, till the highest stone in the church be the lowest stone of the bridge. Shortly afterward, a tremendous storm struck York. The steeple of Trinity Church was toppled by wind and indeed crashed down onto Ouse Bridge, where its stones literally became the lowest part of the ruined bridge. These fulfillments earned Mother Shipton great renown as a seer in the eyes of common folk. As her reputation spread, even royalty took notice. It's recorded that in 1537, King Henry VIII wrote to the Duke of Norfolk, making reference to a witch of York, causing unrest during the Northern Rebellion against the Crown. Many believe this was an allusion to Mother Shipton, who by then was said to be prophesying against Henry's drastic policies, like the dissolution of England's monasteries. Around the same time, the king's powerful advisor, Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, came into Mother Shipton's prophetic crosshairs. According to a later pamphlet, Ursula foretold that Wolsey, who was Archbishop of York, would see York but never actually set foot in it as Archbishop. In 1530, this bizarre prediction came true. Cardinal Wolsey fell from the king's favour and was arrested for treason while travelling north. He made it as far as the vicinity of York, at Coward, but was summoned back toward London, only to die of illness en route in Leicester, never reaching his archbishop's seat in York Minster. It's said that Wolsey himself had heard of Mother Shipton's prophecy and vowed to burn her as a witch when he arrived in York, a threat fate ensured he never got to carry out. Mother Shipton's fame truly exploded after her death when her prophecies were set to print. The first known publication, The Prophecy of Mother Shipton in the reign of King Henry VIII, was printed in 1641, about 80 years after she died. This slim pamphlet compiled regional Yorkshire predictions and a bit of her legend, containing only a couple of prophetic rhymes. Over the following decades, more elaborate editions appeared. A 1684 book, The Life and Death of Mother Shipton by Richard Head, provided a full, if fanciful, biography and many prophecies. Many of the famous verses we now associate with Mother Shipton originated not from Ursula's own time, but from these later writings. For instance, Mother Shipton is credited with foretelling momentous national events, decades after her lifetime: the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, the Great Plague of 1665, and Great Fire of London 1666, even the execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. During the Great Fire of London, the diarist Samuel Pepys noted that he heard members of the royal court discussing Mother Shipton's prophecy of the catastrophe while surveying the ruins. Her name was on the lips of the highest in the land, spoken in awe. Some prophecies attributed to her were eerily accurate, albeit possibly invented after the fact. She supposedly predicted the English Reformation when the Catholic abbeys would be pulled down, the English Civil War of the 1640s, and even the rise of Queen Elizabeth I, who was a child in Mother Shipton's time. However, Mother Shipton's legend didn't stop at real history. It grew into the realm of science fiction as the centuries passed. By the Victorian era, enthusiasts had published sensational verses under her name that seemed to foresee modern inventions and wonders far beyond the 16th century. In 1862, a bookseller named Charles Hindley printed an extremely popular collection of Mother Shipton's prophecies, which included lines like, "Carriages without horses shall go, and accidents fill the world with woe. Around the world thoughts shall fly, in the twinkling of an eye. Underwater men shall walk, shall ride, shall sleep, shall talk. In the air men shall be seen, in white, in black, in green. Iron in the water shall float, as easy as a wooden boat. The world to an end shall come, in 1881. These verses uncannily describe automobiles, telegraphs, or the internet, thoughts flying in the twinkling of an eye, submarines, airplanes, and iron steamships, even an alleged doomsday in 1881. They caused a sensation. In 1881, many people actually panicked, praying in churches as the year approached its end, fearing Mother Shipton's end-of-the-world prediction might come true. Of course, the world did not end in 1881, and later it was revealed that Charles Hindley had fabricated those rhyming prophecies as a hoax. Hindley himself admitted he concocted the famous House of Glass, Crystal Palace, and world-to-end lines to fool the Victorian public. Stripping away the inventions, what can we say of Mother Shipton's real prophetic legacy? It appears that during her life, she was reputed to have true foresight in a local context, enough that notable figures like Henry VIII and others took note. After her death, the legend grew with each retelling. By the 17th century, she was venerated as the English Nostradamus, credited with almost every notable event that happened since. An often quoted story claims that Prince Rupert, a commander in the English Civil War, exclaimed, "Now Shipton's prophecy is out," upon hearing of the Great Fire of London, implying her prediction had been fulfilled. Mother Shipton's life ended, according to most sources, in 1561, at the ripe age of 72 or 73. It's said that she herself calmly predicted the date of her own death, and indeed bade farewell, knowing her time had come. She was reportedly denied burial in consecrated churchyard soil. Not surprising, given the church's disdain for reputed witches. Instead, legend holds she was buried in unmarked ground somewhere on the outskirts of York, perhaps near Clifton. Her grave lost to history. Yet in many ways, Mother Shipton never truly died. Her prophecies, real or imagined, lived on in chapbooks and oral tradition. By the 17th and 18th centuries, she'd become a figure of fireside lore across Britain, a symbol of the uncanny wise woman who could predict the fates of kings and nations. Today, Mother Shipton's name is inseparable from the place she was born, that damp cave beneath a cliff, beside a dripping holy well. In fact, Mother Shipton's Cave, also called Old Mother Shipton's Cave, is England's oldest tourist attraction, open to paying visitors since as early as 1630. Even in Ursula's day, the well's effects were known, though not understood. The spring water emerges from deep underground through limestone rock, picking up an unusually high content of dissolved minerals like calcium, carbonate and sulfate. Where the water spills over the cliff, it clings to the surface and anything hanging there, leaving behind mineral deposits that harden into a stone-like crust. Over weeks and months, porous objects such as cloth, twigs or teddy bears in modern practice become heavy and stiff as rock. Of course, nothing truly turns to stone. It is essentially a very fast natural process of encrustation, similar to how stalactites form. But in the earlier centuries, this seemed like outright magic. Locals believed the well was cursed, perhaps by Mother Shipton, or by evil forces associated with her. They feared that to touch the waters could turn you to stone as well. One particularly chilling Mother Shipton prophecy still lingers in local lore. The world shall end when the High Bridge at Knaresborough is thrice fallen. The High Bridge in question is an ancient stone bridge spanning the Nid. Historically, it has collapsed twice, once in the 17th century and again in the 19th, each time rebuilt. Having fallen twice, locals half-jokingly eye it with suspicion, hoping the third time never comes, for more reasons than one. While few seriously believe the world would literally end, the old rhyme is often recalled whenever the bridge needs repairs. A testament to how ingrained Mother Shipton's apocalyptic warning has become in the town's collective psyche. Folklore like this shows how a legend can entwine itself with a community's sense of place and destiny.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Big news! Wayfair's end-of-season sale is here. It's Wayfair's Labor Day clearance. Right now, you can score up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, amazing doorbuster deals and 24-hour surprise flash deals on home finds in every style. This is your last chance to score end-of-season savings, and it's happening now. Did we mention fast shipping on everything? Don't wait. Head to Wayfair.com today to score up to 70% off now through September 2nd.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
What an amazing story. I'd really love to go and stick something in the well. I doubt if it happens like instantly turning to stone. But yeah, I'd love to go.
Yeah.
I really would. And there's so much to this story that she could tell the future like Nostradamus. Obviously, it sounds like it got exaggerated. But I'm quite interested in the bridge story, that if it falls down for the third time, that's it. That's the end of the world. And it's already fallen twice.
Yeah.
Just be careful around the bridge, folk. Just be careful.
Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. I'll catch up with you on Wednesday for some more witchy stories. Not forgetting Tuesday and Thursday if you're tuning in for Obscurata. And then Toby will be back again on Thursday for an extra about another witch. And then Sunday we'll be returning for the haunted episodes. And just a reminder, these last haunted episodes will run up till the end of September, and then we won't start them again until like May next year. But yes, in that episode we are going to a haunted, witchy place, which I'm excited about. I'm excited about all of this because I love witchy stuff.
Yeah, because you are one.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new Coldzyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.
Comcast is committed to bringing access to the internet to all Americans, including rural communities across the country, like Sussex County, Delaware.
We were being left behind. Everybody around us seemed to have internet, but we did not. High-speed internet is one of those good things that we needed to help us move our farming, our small businesses, our recreation forward.
Learn more about how we're bringing our next generation network to more people across the country at ComcastCorporation.com/investment in America.
One of the hardest parts of getting older is feeling like something's off in your body, but not knowing exactly what. It's not just aging. It's often your hormones, too. When they fall out of balance, everything feels off. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to be the story of your next chapter. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is an herbal formula made with science-backed ingredients designed to fine-tune your hormones by balancing estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol. It helps with common issues such as hot flashes, poor sleep, low energy, bloating, and more. With over 40,000 reviews and a bottle sold every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. A survey found 86% of women lost weight, 77% saw an improved mood, and 100% felt like themselves again. Start your next chapter feeling balanced and in control. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com with code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.